Welcome to A.T. Kearney Procurement and Analytics Solutions' latest episode of The Wave of the Future. The Wave of the Future will keep you in the know about the forces that are shaping the world of business: collaboration, globalization, and sustainability. We'll talk about how these forces are changing the marketplace and the innovative solutions that A.T. Kearney is bringing to our clients. From Chicago, Illinois, I'm Linda Butterfield, and I'm here today with my guests, Laura Shoemaker and Amanda DeCook, to talk about growing demand for a new breed of procurement professional. Over the next 15 minutes, we'll talk about careers in supply management, characteristics of successful procurement professionals, and developing procurement talent. Before we begin, let me introduce my guests. Laura Shoemaker is a director at A.T. Kearney's Chicago office, and she's been with the firm since 2003. Laura has over 12 years of supply management experience, and she has worked on numerous engagements helping companies build and organize their procurement functions. In addition, Laura plays a lead role helping to recruit and retain A.T. Kearney supply management consultants. Welcome, Laura.
Thanks, Linda. It's great to be here.
Also with me today is Amanda DeCook. Amanda is a sourcing analyst in the Chicago office, and she has over 1.5 years of industry consulting experience in consumer appliances, food and beverage, industrial supply, and agribusiness industries. Amanda has been with the firm since 2010, and she joined A.T. Kearney just after graduating from Michigan State University. Welcome, Amanda.
Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, Amanda, I'd like to start by asking you how you got into supply management and what are some of the things that drew you into the procurement specialty as a profession?
So when I was in high school, I was taking an online course at the local community college, just trying to gain some extra credits before enrolling at Michigan State. And the course was called Principles of Industrial Purchasing. And I just loved the case studies, loved the problems you were trying to solve, and solutions trying to create to make a process better. So with that in mind, I knew I was already going to go to Michigan State and major in business. And it turns out that Michigan State has a phenomenal supply chain program. So it was just a fit. Then when I was a freshman, I knew that I wanted to enter that program and was able to head into it full force.
Interesting. So your career really started from while you were still at that academic setting at Michigan State University, and you graduated with a degree in supply chain management. So can you talk about what opportunities there are out there for graduates with that type of degree?
Yeah, it's amazing the opportunities for this field. At Michigan State alone, we hosted a career fair for companies just to recruit supply chain majors. And on average, we have between 80 and 100 companies that come to recruit. And these companies vary in industry from, energy, automotive, consumer goods to consulting. And within those industries, there's different roles from logistics to procurement to operations management. Quite a few companies actually have supply chain rotational programs that allow young professionals to be able to experience different parts of a business in different fields. You might spend, 6 months in a plant setting, and then 6 months in inventory planning, then another 6 months in procurement. Or else some other companies, they're more into hiring you for a specific role, and then you'll enter that role, and then once you're ready to advance to a new role, it could be, a year to two, you could then get promoted to a different position. Or there's consulting, which is the path I chose, where you hire into a firm and you gain 3 to 6 month projects in a variety of industries and a variety of settings.
So interesting. With that amount of opportunity out there and all those different environments, can you tell us a little bit more about why you picked consulting as your path?
Yeah, so I was fortunate to be able to do 3 different internships while at Michigan State, all in different industries and different parts of supply chain. And while I enjoyed them all, none of them, gave me that calling like, oh, I have to do this for the rest of my life. So I wanted to do consulting where I constantly, interact with new clients, new people, see new industries and new companies, and see the different challenges that, companies globally are facing and ways to provide solutions and implementation. I knew consulting would challenge me quickly and, really get my skill set to where I want to be rapidly.
Well, it sounds like, in that consulting area, you really are a generalist and that, you're across all the industry sector, but specific in that you apply your, supply management skills and tool set that you have. Well, what do you think are some of the common misperceptions people might have if they're considering a career in procurement or supply management? What are some of the misperceptions or, myths about that role now that you've actually had the actual job?
So I think a lot of people think purchasing's tactical, or, well, what's the strategy behind that? You go out and you place an order and you buy something. And really, when you think about it, there's so much more to it than just placing an order. It's who do you want to partner with? Who do you want to become a value-added supplier? And how do you want to purchase from them? Do you want to do index-based pricing? Do you want to do firm fixed pricing, sign contracts, do spot buying? And I know I'm just making a long list here, but I really enjoy getting into a problem, and academically you learn all these concepts and solutions and they sound so simple, and then you get into an organization and things are so much more complex than you ever imagined. So being able to really use your mind to think strategically with a strong team and come to solutions is something that I find exciting, and that I think people might not understand about supply chain always.
Great. Well, Laura, now that we have that good perspective from Amanda about why somebody might choose a career in supply management, let's talk a little bit about how companies can go about developing and building their procurement functions. What should somebody staffing a procurement department consider as they determine who to bring on board and what types of roles to fill?
Well, Linda, I think that when staffing a procurement department, I would recommend to really start by evaluating the current organization structure. This, I think, strategy or evaluation should really be obtained by going through a detailed assessment that helps to identify what really the true staffing needs would be. This assessment includes identifying the current roles and job titles of the existing procurement employees, being able to map current procurement responsibilities to the identified employees with their roles and their skill sets, and understanding the needs and expectations really of the business units and the stakeholders that you'll be working with or serving. I think that this finally leads to really being able to identify the needs and gaps within the organization. So it helps you to answer questions around, is it particular skills, category expertise, or leadership that we really need to find somebody to fit that role. Using an assessment similar to this really helps consider, what the right skill should be of the person that they need to bring on board, and not simply replace a person or fill in a previous role.
Sure. And can you talk about some of the attributes or characteristics that would make a person successful in a procurement role?
I usually get this question a lot from potential candidates during the interview process. I typically have them have identified really 3 areas that I feel there are a number of different characteristics and attributes within each of them. The first one really being pertaining to leadership and project management skills, the ability to influence others, establish deadlines, and drive projects to success. I also typically put communication in this bucket. Although it's critical in every aspect of the day-to-day responsibilities of a procurement role, I feel that it even has a greater importance when it comes to leadership and project management skills. The second attribute I would really think that a person needs to make sure that they feel comfortable with is really supplier management and customer management skills. It is critical to be able to develop relationships with suppliers and internal customers. It's also critical to this attribute to really have the ability to effectively negotiate. And finally, I think strong analytical skills. Procurement really is a data-intensive part of the organization. It's critical that a person within procurement have strong analytical skills and the ability really to conduct benchmarking analysis. To think strategically about key procurement and financial issues really means that you're able to quantify every decision that you make.
So, Laura, do most of the procurement departments with clients that you work with, is there a standard breakdown in terms of the number of staff with undergraduate degrees or business degrees versus years of experience or specialty certification? How does that shake out?
I think a lot of the procurement organizations really have a wide variety of individuals who have various types of degrees and years of experience. Quite often, many of the more experienced individuals might have not always been in procurement, may have come from manufacturing or engineering backgrounds. Sometimes we also find procurement individuals who have worked in the plants and really know the ins and outs of the operations side and are really perfect for the procurement role. With an increase, though, in the number of universities that now have supply chain management majors in both graduate and undergraduate programs, we are finding many professionals at our clients that have a real passion for procurement and supply chain and have been advancing in their career paths in this field from day one. So I think that many successful organizations have really found a way to balance both experience and educational backgrounds to build a well-rounded procurement organization.
So for a company looking to build its procurement department in today's, current economy, would you say that that's impacted what they should be looking for in a purchasing professional, the type of skills or type of specialty that they have?
I think that this question really ties into the first question you asked regarding, how to determine who to bring in what role to fill. I think that answer doesn't lie in do we need a generalist versus a niche skill set, such as negotiations, strategies, or supplier management, but probably more on where do the gaps within the organization currently exist. I find that the changing economy has not necessarily altered the line of thinking, but instead, many of the organizations may be looking at trying to fill gaps that can lead to more immediate impact versus some of the needs that might drive future impact down the road, a year or two.
Okay, well, Laura, let's wrap up with some advice for the audience. What would you say to a hiring manager who's looking to add staff to the procurement department? What advice would you give that person?
I think that the most important advice that I could give a hiring manager is really to understand what their needs are within their procurement organization and what skill sets can really add impact or perhaps fill a gap that currently exists today. Oftentimes when we're working with a client who's going out to fill a position in their company, they might use a cookie cutter job description to seek out a candidate and simply change the category or the commodity name for the particular area that they're looking to fill. Instead of using this approach, I would really challenge the manager to create a job description that outlines the specific skills and attributes that they are looking for in the potential candidate, and that would really complement their current organization as it is today.
And Amanda, what advice would you give to a student who is currently on campus and interested in pursuing a career in supply management?
I would say try to get involved with your on-campus supply chain organization. Try to go as many company presentations as you can to learn about supply chains in different industries and different companies. And then I'd say the best thing to do is to get internships so that you can experience the role firsthand and see if it truly is a fit for you and something that you're passionate about.
Well, those sound like great pieces of wisdom. This brings us to the end of our podcast on procurement professionals. I'm Linda Butterfield in Chicago, Illinois, and I'd like to thank Laura and Amanda for joining me, and Tom Klein, our production engineer. If you have any questions or comments about this podcast, please email us at podcasts@atkearney.com. This has been an A.T. Kearney Procurement Analytics Solution podcast production. Join us again next time for the Wave of the Future. And remember, sharing knowledge is powerful.